Here before the usual packed house at the United Center, both teams going with the same starting lineups for game 2, starting with the Charlotte Hornets. It'll be David Wesley and Bobby Phills in the backcourt. Glenn Rice and Anthony Mason the forward. Vlade Divac is the center. For the Chicago Bulls, they're going to go with Ron Harper and Michael Jordan at guard. Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and Tony Kukoc up front. Now, let's go to Craig Sager.
After shooting just 36% in game 1, Phil Jackson emphasized the point in the Charlotte Hornets' minds by saying what an unforgiving place this is to shoot, how difficult it is. He says the stanchions are long, the rims are tight, the bounces are unforgiving. He also says there's a lack of depth perception. We thought it might just be a psychological ploy by Coach Jackson, and surprise, surprise, we checked with Drew Sorensen, who has his seal of approval on the back of the rim, just as he does on every rim in the NBA. This one is 230 pounds of pressure, exactly like the one in Charlotte and every place else in the NBA. As for the depth perception, that doesn't hold true either. We did some research. The Bulls shoot 44.6% on the road, but improve to 45.9% here at home. Dick, Huey?
Well, you wonder how a team that's people say may go 15-0 have to use any psychological methods against a foe, but here we are.
Well, they say lights in here, tight rims, and sight lines because this is the largest building in the league, seating over 24,000 for hockey and basketball. They say the sight lines. I say it's the Bulls defense.
I'll go with you. So you see the percentage when teams win game 1 of the series, 79%. Last year in this Eastern semifinal, the Bulls defeated the Atlanta Hawks in game 1, but dropped game 2 here at the United Center before winning in 5. The officials working game 2 tonight. Ted Bernhardt, Joe Crawford, and Eddie F. Rush set to go. Vlade Divac will jump against Tony Kukoc. In game number 2, 83-70, the Bulls victors in game number 1, despite the fact that they only shot 41%. Controlled by visiting Charlotte. David Wesley looking inside to Anthony Mason, guarded by Rodman. Rodman did a great job on him in game number 1, held him to only 1 basket, and he misses the first shot.
All you're asking Rodman to do is pressure the shot, don't foul him, let him get on the foul line, and no double teams because he is their key passer.
The Bulls got 60 points from Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, the only 2 Bulls to hit double figures in the opening game. Jordan now with 5 on the shot clock. Let's go. And Divac gets the rebound.
Main thing for Charlotte is to try to cut down on the Chicago Bulls offensive rebounding. They gave him 15 on Sunday.
Again, they go into a post up against Mason, who's got a good spin move, but Rodman's pretty quick. Bobby Phills in the lane, and Pippen gets the rebound. Still scoreless with a minute gone by.
Dick, when you do not double team the inside people, you can match up at the perimeter.
Pippen misses a perimeter shot. And penetrating here is Wesley feeding Phills. He misses the layup. And a timeout. Technical foul was called.
Oh, he called it on both of them, Divac and Rodman.
He doesn't want anything to get started here.
No, absolutely. And it happened right away on the miss of Phil's going in, going strong to the rim. Now, you know, anytime that you get easy, fast break opportunities against Chicago, you must convert.
These teams, these players, each played mind games with each other in game number 1, Divac and Rodman, even though they didn't guard each other. Kukoc working the baseline against the smaller Wesley. Rodman with a good feed into Kukoc, and no one can find the basket. I guess Craig Sager and Phil Jackson knew what they were talking about. Still no score. A minute and a half has gone by. Wesley picked up by Kukoc on the switch. Wesley inside the arc. Divac finds an opening, and he can't hit. So the Bulls are 0 for 3, but the Hornets 0 for 5. 8 missed shots to start this game, too.
And they've all been high percentage shots. It isn't like people are struggling.
Here is Kukoc working against the smaller Wesley. Harper open for the shot, and he misses it. And now Charlotte will have a chance. So 9 shots missed, 5 by Charlotte, 4 by the Bulls. And we have more than 2 minutes gone by. It's 0-0.
The reason why we brought out those percentages at the top, because Utah and Charlotte are considered the 2 highest shooting percentage teams in the league. In 5 games, Charlotte is shooting 36%. Now that's kind of staggering.
Divac has his layup slapped away by Kukoc, and here's Michael Jordan says, I've had enough of this. Well, maybe not. Even Jordan misses. He is 0 for 2 from the field. I know he won't have a shutout. I just have that feeling he will. Mason double team, turnaround, and Anthony Mason finally scores, and a drought that nearly took us 3 minutes of this first quarter.
Yeah, well, you're hoping right now that Rice will get high percentage look, Mason will get off and going, so you'll get the double team, and then that Bills and Curry to get you some points.
Rodman misses a follow-up.
What is going on here?
He misses 2 of them. Kukoc had a great opportunity inside, and Rodman missed a couple, and it is still 2-0.
Where are the green shirts? Where are the green shirts on the defensive boards?
Wesley off a curl, and Rodman taps it, and taken away by Bobby Phills on the steal. And here is Vlade Divac inside with a fake, stripped away by Pippen. Scottie Pippen with a defensive play. Very tough on the open floor. The Bulls have yet to score in 3.5+ minutes, and a foul call against the Hornets, and it will be against Glenn Rice.
Yeah, good call by Joey Crawford. They're not going to let you allow you to knee a guy. We call that horsing you off the post, plus push with your 2 hands in his lower back.
So 3 minutes and 45 seconds, and the Bulls have yet to score. Michael Jordan is pushed driving the baseline. And the foul is against Anthony Mason. Well, Vlade Divac will go out, and J.R. Reed, who saw considerable action in game number 1, replaces Divac. Divac, an early exit here.
In the early going, they have Mason on Michael Jordan, and you know that you've got to clear out and let Michael go one-on-one with him.
Jordan hits the field goal as the Bulls finally score after missing their first 8 shots and nearly 4 minutes gone by.
Now, putting Mason on Jordan, you're also taking your best rebounder away from the defensive boards.
Mason is still guarded by Rodman at the other end. Mason working his way against Rodman. They try for the double team.
Yeah, Joey Crawford's calling everything very close down inside on the post. And that time, yeah, sure, you used your forearm, but then you extended the arm in pushing the offensive player off the spot.
Dennis Rodman with the personal foul. We're tied 2-2 with 7:40 remaining in the first quarter. David Wesley guarded by Harper, and here is Anthony Mason hitting from the perimeter. Mason a little upset with Dave Cowens that he couldn't power more to the hoop. He said Cowens needs to learn his own players, and of course they patched that up. Dave Cowens saying everyone is on the same page. You got to wonder sometimes. Pippen misses the layup on a good pass from Rodman, but he's fouled.
You know, players always have a tendency when things don't go well, when you score 6 points and only get 8 rebounds, that it's the coach's fault, okay? I think that Dave Cowens has done a nice job here with 54 wins and 51 this year, especially when you consider that he's had Curry, Divac, and Phil's out for all over 20 games. I think he knows his team. I think he's done an outstanding coaching job. And what you'd like to see Mason do is stop using excuses and just step up and play to his potential. In this series, 5 games, he's averaging 7 points and 8 rebounds. I don't think that's Dave Cowens' fault.
And of course, he had a big series against Atlanta, including the game-clinching victory against the Hawks when he scored a playoff high 29. Glenn Rice misses from the perimeter, and of course, the Hornets are going to need a lot of points from Glenn Rice tonight. Scottie Pippen, with just under 7 minutes to go, gets it out to Kukoc. We're tied at 4-4 as Kukoc overthrows Harper for a Bulls turnover, and we're going to have a timeout.
In the early going, Charlotte coming down the floor, applying pressure, trapping a little bit, and then Mason on Michael Jordan.
I just approach it from a realistic viewpoint is that we still have to lose 3 games in order to be eliminated. And I have confidence in our guys that we're going to approach each game with the attitude that this is a winnable game, just like I thought the first one was a winnable game.
Well, even when he says it twice, we had a little technical problem. You can understand that he has confidence in his team as you look at the Hornets' problems playing here in Chicago.
Anytime that you've been an ex-player and now you're a coach, or you've coached in this league a long time, all it is you're down 0-1. You're not down 0-30 because they beat you by 13 points. You know, so you just play one game at a time. All you're looking for is a split in this series.
Yeah, even if you're down 0-2, they held serve. And now you get 2 chances to even the series on your home floor. When the visiting team wins a game, well, then you got a story. J.R. Reed misses from the perimeter, and Scottie Pippen coming out with it. He has 5 rebounds already, does Pippen. And Jordan with a pump fake, misses, batted up in the air, and finally Reed gets it.
Get it out. You get it out, you got a break.
No break this time, however, as Wesley and Phils get it in low to Mason. Front rims it again, and Dennis Rodman getting the rebound. Rodman has 6 rebounds as the Bulls doing a good job off the glass, limiting the Hornets to 1 shot a time.
Well, the only thing I don't like about Charlotte right now is the fact that Rice is hardly involved. He's your key guy. He's not only your key scorer, but he's also your key 3-point shooter.
And inside, hitting the floor is Harper as he misses a layup. Here is Mason. Rice has attempted only 1 shot thus far. This is his 2nd, and this one bounces out. And 7 rebounds now for Dennis Rodman. 4-4 score. Kukoc against Wesley. They had a mismatch inside the 6'1" Wesley against Kukoc, who's 6'11", no contest.
Yeah, I don't see the energy at the defensive end of the floor for Charlotte right now. And also, Wesley continues to get caught in mismatches when Chicago is in transition. Chicago's got the 3-point shot, and they got the mismatch in the post.
Reed on a good fake on Kukoc, banks it in. So J.R. Reed, who played 15 minutes and had 3 points and 3 boards, ties it up for Charlotte. Here is Kukoc again, guarded by Wesley with Rice double teaming. Kukoc, not much of production in game number 1, loses the ball.
Oh, here you come.
And here is a 3-on-2 break. Wesley, no look to Glenn Rice, who lays it in. And the lead for the Charlotte Hornets now of 8-6.
They must continue to go at Kukoc on Wesley down in the post. That's a major mismatch. The other factor is that Charlotte can continue to push in transition and get many easy points in this game.
Luke Longley getting set to enter the game at the next whistle. He is at the scorer's table. Scottie Pippen with a turnaround, and you wonder whether people take him for granted too much, huh?
Oh, and look, the guy's just playing magnificent basketball throughout the playoffs, averaging 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and doing a great defensive job on wherever his matchup might be.
He had 25 points and a good defensive job on Glenn Rice in game 1. Bobby Phils with a Charlotte miss from the perimeter. We're tied at 8. Here's Pippen again. This is a 3-point attempt, and the rebound taken down by Mason.
Well, we always bring it out in every game that we do with Chicago. Scottie is the most dangerous guy shooting threes in transition.
Mason with his spin move. Missed the shot, but it's last touched by the Bulls, so the Hornets will inbound. Dave Cowens, who has led the Charlotte Hornets to back-to-back 50-win seasons, and that's the first time that the Hornets have accomplished that in their history.
Now, we have not played 9 minutes, and Mason has had a ton of easy shots in this game so far. And right now, nothing is going down for him. If he'll shoot a higher percentage, that will force the double teaming, that will open up the perimeter people, and this is a great 3-point shooting team. Charlotte.
He's 2 for 5, but he has 5 rebounds. Anthony Mason. Low-scoring first quarter, and Luke Longley, who was out for 22 of the last 24 regular season games with a deep bone bruise in his left knee. 14 minutes in game number 1, and the Bulls are sorely going to need him as they go on.
Well, you can see against Charlotte in 4 games this year, you know, he's done a nice job. 2 games against Indiana, and then also 2 games against New York. So you know the points are there, but he gives you rebounding, and then the intimidation of the shot block. Plus, he takes the pressure off of Dennis Rodman night in and night out of matching up with guys 7 foot, 275 pounds to 300 pounds.
Here's the rebounding story. Rodman already has 8 as the Bulls have out-rebounded the Hornets by 5. Phil's going into Divac, who has come back in the game. Steve Kerr also in for Chicago, as is Scott Burrell. Phil's with a 3 way off the mark, not even close. And Divac alertly taps it out. And here is Glenn Rice. He's still struggling from the field. Bulls trying to break the tie. Believe it or not, we're still in single digits. Burrell left wide open. No one picked him up. But he misses. It's that kind of a first quarter, Hubie.
Yeah, and right now, Charlotte needs Rice to rebound along with Mason and Divac And Divac naturally will take the pressure off of everyone if he can come in with a double-double tonight.
B.J. Armstrong, the point guard, and he and Kerr are matched up. Armstrong, the former Bull, misses a layup. And we want to welcome those watching on TSN in Canada this second game of the Eastern Conference semifinal between the Bulls and the Hornets as the world champs try to make it 2-0 in this series. Jordan working against Bobby Phills with a pull-up and a score. Phills has his work cut out naturally.
Well, that time they ran a split, a high split, and then Michael popped himself open. And you like to see Michael, when he's not involved, to get down into the painted area where he shoots a high percentage.
Longley is guarding Divac now in the low post, and they're going to call the pushing foul against Luke Longley.
Now Jordan comes out of the split series right here and just takes you into the lane. Now once he gets you down in here, because he stops on a dime and he elevates, he's going to shoot up over the top of you. And if you're right on him, then he'll do the fadeaway jump shot.
And if you double team him, he'll find the open man for a basket. No easy way, is it? Here's Divac with a baseline spin, goes up, and Longley picks up his second foul in a few seconds, and this is in the act of shooting.
Now this he's definitely rusty. But you look at this and you say, are you going to take him out right now? Well, there's no need to, because you're only going to play him limited minutes. They're looking to get him 16, 18 minutes. Now Divac has got a game. Now Divac has all kinds of moves with his back to the basket. He can hit the 18 to 20-foot jump shot, and then he's got the up and under. So you have to be careful when you play him. He's slick.
Divac with a double-double in game number 1 with 12 points, 14 rebounds, although he missed that free throw. He played 41 minutes, about 13 more than he did in the regular season per game. Divac acquired from the LA Lakers in '96 for the rights to Kobe Bryant in a big trade that, especially for the Lakers, but Charlotte not unhappy with that deal either.
You realize we only have 2 minutes left in the score. 10-9.
10-9. Longley hitting the outside shot, not rusty in that department, and the Bulls lead 12-9.
Dick, he can make that shot. You've got to get out and honor that and force him to dribble a basketball, which he's not going to do.
Burrell on the steal, has it taken back by B.J. Armstrong. And hitting from the corner is Bobby Phills. Phills hit 2 early threes in the first quarter and then grew cold. That's all she wrote for Phills in game number 1, where he scored only 8 points. Of course, he had a tough defensive job against Michael Jordan, as he does there. And the personal foul is called against J.R. Reed. That'll be his first. Coming up next, game 2 here on TNT of the Western Conference playoff between the Lakers and the Sonics, with Seattle having won game 1. Michael Jordan feeding Longley inside. Good pass by Jordan. Longley makes good.
So see, Phil, he's not going to take him out of the game. When you're playing a guy 16, 18 minutes on the bench, you let them in for longer periods of time. Let them get in, get off the rust. But you can see he's scoring with authority this year.
Reed double team. Here's Glenn Rice going strong to the hoop, and Longley gets a piece of it. And finally, Divac tips it in after Rice missed on 2 occasions. And with under a minute to go here in the first quarter, the Bulls lead by 1. Burrell knocked away, and it's Ted Bernhardt's call, and it's last touch by the Bulls.
Well, Burrell thought that the shot was blocked or that the defender grazed the ball. But Joey Crawford had that one. It was a little questionable, so he looked for help, and the trail referee on the side catches it. Now you're going to see it right here. Now from our angle right there, it just looked like Burrell lost the ball.
Corey Beck has come in the game. Bobby Phills goes out. Dave Cowan's not wanting Phills to pick up a personal foul on Jordan in the final seconds. Bulls lead by 1. Working against Kerr is B.J. Armstrong. Here is Armstrong, gets it in low to Reed. Knocked away by Pippen. Scottie Pippen 4-on-2 for the Bulls with under a half a minute to go in the first. Here is Kerr for 3, and he's got it.
Oh, boy.
Steve Kerr played only 1 game against Charlotte in the regular season, and perhaps a hidden factor in this series against the Hornets.
Well, on Sunday, the second unit of Chicago scored 11 points. Charlotte's second unit scored 8. They were 2 for 12 in shooting. Already tonight, they've topped that.
And for all intents and purposes, playing for the final shot of the first quarter are the Hornets, who are down by 4. And a air ball by Beck from the baseline. So Corey Beck, who came in to prevent a foul by Bobby Phills. Misses a shot, and 1.7 show on the clock as the Bulls get one last opportunity.
Well, you have to be careful here now, because you can make a catch, one bounce, and get a shot.
Michael Jordan has 4 points on 2 for 5 shooting and will remain in for the final 1.7. Longley will go out, replaced by Rodman.
There's no one during defense.
And here is Pippen. Shot! Oh, off the glass just to the right of the rim. So at the end of 1 quarter, the Bulls, after 1 for 12, came back with 6 for 8 shooting. And at the end of the first quarter, the Bulls lead the Hornets in game 2 by a score of 17-13. Welcome back to the United Center in Chicago. The NBA playoffs continue as the Chicago Bulls, with a lead over the Charlotte Hornets in a very strange first quarter, Hubie, 17-13, when neither team got into double digits till the waning moments of the first quarter. And there is the shooting numbers of the first quarter.
Well, there are plenty of missed shots. There is a lack of offensive rebounding by both teams. We have key guys not getting high percentage shots, the main scorers from both teams.
Tony Kukoc with Scott Burrell, Steve Kerr, Randy Brown in the game for the first time, and Dennis Rodman. And there is Kukoc missing from the perimeter. Armstrong and Divac. Divac the rebound. So it's Armstrong at guard along with Corey Beck. And it's Divac. Donald Royal in the game for the first time, and Anthony Mason. Strange group of people out on the floor right now, but Donald Royal, who did start 1 game against the Bulls this year, gets the basket.
Yeah, Donald Royal is a slasher. He's been with a number of teams. He's a high-energy guy. He puts the ball down on the floor, and inside of 15 feet, you've got to play him.
Pippen and Jordan out for Chicago. Glenn Rice on the bench for the Charlotte Hornets. Going deep into the bench for both coaches in this first half. Scott Burrell hits a 3, and the former Charlotte Hornet, who was a 20th pick in '93, hits the second 3 for the Bulls.
Well, he's now 5 for 10 in threes at playoff picks, so you know he's on a roll. The rebounding, Chicago's winning the rebounding now, 17-14. Rodman with 8, Divac with 6.
And the Hornets have yet to take a 3-point shot. They were 3rd in the NBA at 38%. Donald Royal hits his second. So Royal is like a wild card here in the first half.
Well, right now with this unit on the floor, Dick, Chicago all of a sudden is double teaming Mason, and Mason now is finding the free guy.
20-17, the Bulls by 3. Randy Brown guarded by Beck. Beck also is a starter in one of the 4 games between these teams this year. Rodman finding an open shot, and he will shoot if given the opportunity, because he said, I'm looking to score, and Phil Jackson wants him to. He took 7 shots in game number 1, so expect Dennis Rodman to come out firing. Here is B.J. Armstrong with the jumper, and the Bulls lead cut to 1.
Yeah, that was just bad defense. Anytime that there's a screen below the foul line and B.J. Armstrong comes off the screen and roll, you cannot dare the shooter. And that's what Rodman did. Rather than play him, he allowed him an open shot.
Hornets playing kind of a helter-skelter defense right now with some of their speed merchants off the bench. Randy Brown going up, and Divac made him change his shot, but Burrell alertly gets it back for the Bulls. 2.5 gone by. The Bulls lead by 1. They were up by 4 at the end of the first quarter. Jordan and Pippen getting a rest right now. 7 on the shot clock. Here is Burrell firing from the corner. And Rodman gets position on Divac. Out of bounds.
I was still in.
And a 20-second timeout was called by the Hornets before he stepped out of bounds.
Now, the reason why they allowed it was because he was still in bounds. Now, as Rodman goes up here, he just overshoots. Now, this is where the rebound is caught. He caught. Now, because you're not allowed to call the timeout if you're falling out of bounds and you've lost contact with the floor.
It's a full timeout now.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Here's a look at Patrick Ewing moments after his most physical practice since the wrist injury today as he worked out at Market Square Arena. Jeff Van Gundy saying he's still waiting on medical clearance before allowing Ewing to play, but he said as soon as he gets that, he will play. Could be tomorrow night on TNT. Knicks and Pacers followed by the Spurs and the Jazz. Back to Dick and Hubert.
Ongoing story, EJ, on Patrick Ewing, and we'll just have to wait and see. Here we have nearly 3 minutes gone by in the second with the Bulls leading 20-19. And the second unit, a big surprise thus far. The bench, 10 points on 4 of 7. Longley and Kerr playing the big role there. Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan back in the game, and the Charlotte Hornets outscored the Bulls 6-3 while the two big guns were out of there. Glenn Rice remains on the bench for the Charlotte Hornets. Rodman defending against Mason, kicked away as Kukoc came over to double, and a new 24-second clock.
Right now they're doubling hard, and it's basically Kukoc who has been involved in the majority of times, doubling Mason strong. And because of his length at 6'10" and long arms, he's given him a little bit of a problem clearing the pass.
Beck and Armstrong, and now with Royal and Divac and Mason. Here is Royal, who has scored 2 hoops off the bench, and Burrell fouls him. So quick move by Donald Royal, who was signed in February, had played with the Orlando Magic, and as we said, started against the Bulls earlier this year and had 8 points in that effort.
Well, Donald Royal, every team that he's been with, he's been able to make a contribution. Remember, he came out of Notre Dame, he played in the CBA, he's been with San Antonio, played over in Israel, and he had 4 good years down there in Orlando, and he made a good contribution. He was out at Golden State and now back with Charlotte. You know, he's a proven guy off the dribble, and he's a good defender. A hustle guy who's going to give you all that he has every time he hits the floor.
Bobby Phills has replaced Corey Beck in the lineup. So Phills and Armstrong make up the backcourt. Bobby Phills thus far has scored 2 points. So far in the second quarter, the Hornets are 3 of 4 from the field as they tie the score at 20, and the Bulls, getting some pressure, are only 1 for 6. Kukoc guarded by Royal, and Jordan defended by Anthony Mason now. Picked up by Divac on the switch.
Mason just flattened out and let Michael take Divac.
Jordan hitting from the outside, 3 of 6 from the field, and 6 points for Michael.
Right now, Chicago, during the course, now I know Michael went one-on-one, he took advantage of the mismatch, but they've got to catch these point guards playing Kukoc.
Divac going baseline, and maybe a poke in the nose for Tony Kukoc as well. We've had 6 ties already in the game. We're even at 22. Kukoc looking for the foul, doesn't get it as he misses the shot. And the Hornets looking to take the lead. Here's Anthony Mason. And only white shirts underneath. And Jordan finally getting the rebound. Michael Jordan, by the way, 11 rebounds in game 1. Is there anything he doesn't do? Huh?
No, he's averaging 7 rebounds in the playoffs.
Tony Kukoc looking for the pass inside. Forces it up. Burrell fighting for the rebound. And Divac gets the rebound. The Bulls are struggling. 10 rebounds already for Vlade Divac. B.J. Armstrong, part of 3 world championships, and a teammate of Michael Jordan for the Bulls. And they go to the low post to Phills, and Phills can't hit. I've seen an inordinate amount of missed layups tonight.
Yeah, and now there is a little degree of difficulty, Dick, because the defenders are challenging, and they're forcing guys into tough angles.
Pippen with a one-handed turnaround, baby hook, and Scottie has 6.
Well, Scottie gives it to y'all. 3 points, off the dribble, in the lane, posting up. He's got the total package.
6:35 remaining in the second quarter, and we haven't seen Glenn Rice yet, and illegal defense called against the Bulls. That's the first call. The second will be a technical free throw.
Well, they doubled with Kukoc, and then Kukoc and Burrell got confused over the next coverage. B.J. Armstrong has the ball out here on the wing. Anthony Mason is going to set a screen, and then he's going to roll to the basket. As B.J. comes over the top, watch Rodman step back on the fake. And this is there. Anytime they run this, you just give the fake. You can roll Mason. You're going to have the guard pin, plus you're going to be able to shoot the ball on Rodman.
B.J. Armstrong, whose banner is up here, along with the others who are part of 5 NBA championships. He was part of 3 of them before going to Golden State. Came over in a trade from the Warriors this year. Glenn Rice back in the lineup for the Hornets. He has scored only 2 points on 1 for 5 shooting and sat for 6.5 minutes of the second quarter. 5 on the shot clock. Rice guarded by Pippen, going strong to the basket, and Rice has rejected by Luke Longley.
That's his second block and another intimidation.
3 on 2. Pippen guarded by Phils, and Longley the basket and the foul. So Longley doing it at both ends in his second game back from injury.
Now you just love it when this guy plays well because he's so big, he takes up a lot of space, and it just allows Rodman to roam and be more effective. Now that's just a great shot block. You're talking 7'2", 295 pounds.
Luke Longley 3 for 3 shooting since coming in, and now he makes the free throw. So with Rice picking up his second personal foul, the Bulls have a 5-point lead, matching their largest lead earlier. Under 6 minutes remaining, and Rodman and Mason going at it again. Rodman won battle in game 1 and wins this one here as Mason can't convert, and Rodman gets another rebound.
That was a pretty move by Mason. He had Rodman pinned.
Rodman now has 10 rebounds and a pushing foul, as tough to guard Michael Jordan.
Now right down in here, this is 2 Brahmas, you know, banging around with one another, and they're refereeing it accordingly. Now just watch the jump hook. He just leaves this one short. But at the Chicago end, B.J. Armstrong and Wesley continue to get matched up on Kukoc and also Michael Jordan.
Well, Wesley now guarding Dennis Rodman as Armstrong goes out. Wesley coming back in. Michael Jordan nails it just inside the arc. The Bulls are on a 7-0 run, and Jordan is the game's high scorer with 8.
What you like about Michael in the playoffs, sure, the ability, he's scoring 35 a game, but he's shooting over 50%, Dick, and that's the best he has shot all year.
And he shot 53% in the 4 games in the regular season against the Hornets, when his numbers were higher than they were against the rest of the league. So he has enjoyed playing against the Charlotte team. And here is Rice with a turnaround, and Rice now 1 for 7 from the field. Harper guarding him. Longley doubles. Divac gets the lay-in. He was the open man.
Anytime that you have double teaming, if you'll just cut to the front of the rim, you're going to get easy shots. And if Charlotte will continue to do that, it's there for them tonight.
Once again, a 5-point lead, and Phils challenging Pippen in the backcourt. 8 on the shot clock. Scottie Pippen leaves it for Longley, who has yet to miss tonight. That is his first misfire, and Longley and Bobby Phils over the top, and the foul is called. And Luke Longley will be hit with his 3rd personal foul.
Well, Longley, when he got up in the air, you can see the block out right here. And the reason why he did that, you can see Phils had him locked. He locked his one arm. Now Longley, you know, now we know that Phils is a tough guy, but believe me, Longley is a tough guy.
He's tough against big people.
Yes,
he's definitely tough against the 6'5" Bobby Phils, as Longley goes to the bench with 7 points and 3 personal fouls, replaced by Bill Wennington, who did not get into the game Sunday in the opener. Divac over Wennington with a wild shot.
We have seen so many air balls in this game, Dick, and we still have 4 minutes.
Harper driving in, blocked by Divac. Lonnie Divac with the block on Ron Harper. So Harper was scoreless in game 1 and has yet to score in this one. 3:40 remaining in the first half. It is a 5-point Chicago lead. Here is Glenn Rice for 3, and this was off the mark. Rice 1 for 8 from the field, and yet the Hornets in range. Again, the double on Mason. Rice finds a wide open Bobby Phils, and he misses a 3. And the Charlotte Hornets, who missed too many open shots, are doing it again tonight.
We can talk all you want about the fact that sight lines, lights, or what have you, but they are getting good looks at the basket.
Jordan on the miss, and Rodman keeps it alive for the Bills. The Bulls 11 rebounds for Dennis Rodman. Jordan waits till everyone goes up and comes down, and then Conley hits the jumper. 10 points for Jordan on now 5 for 9 shooting. 31 31-24. And this matches the Bulls' biggest lead of this first half. Charlotte now shooting 29% from the field. Phil's fighting his way inside, and a foul before the shot.
I'd like to give you Michael. He knows that he's got a shot opportunity here, and he's going to give his best. Now, his perimeter game is going well, and he gives you the nice ball fake, but he regroups before he shoots the shot.
Well, it's been a relatively ugly game thus far, to tell you the truth. The Bulls leading 31-24 over the Hornets, and the big guns for the respective teams. Glenn Rice struggling big time with only 2 points on 1 for 8 shooting. He's missed his only 3. Michael Jordan starting to cook, has 10 on 5 for 9 from the field.
We say this every year, Dick, at playoff time. You've got to get your 3 best scorers high percentage shots in their best areas. Don't tell me that you're getting open shots. You're getting open shots, but if guys can't make them from those areas, so what good is it? You know, they're going to miss the shots, and that's what we're seeing in this series.
And there's Rice. They lost the ball. They need to get a shot off, and the Bulls come back again. The Hornets started the quarter 4 of 7 from the field, but have only hit 1 of 7 since. Wennington trying to look inside. And a foul is called against the Hornets, and that is against David Wesley.
Yeah, I was down on the baseline, Dick, with Rodman. That time Wesley was matched up with Rodman. Every time we come down the floor, we see the point guard of Charlotte guarding someone on the front line.
Rice is guarding Wennington. Rodman misses the shot, and Reed rebounds. So J.R. Reed in there now with the Wesley. Del Curry in the game for the first time. He has not yet played until the last couple of minutes of this first half. Curry, one of the 2 pure shooters along with Glenn Rice on this team. Wesley's shot finally drops. David Wesley with his first basket of the game.
Well, Wesley's your second leading scorer during the course of the year. He's had a lot of big scoring games. Now tonight, when you get spotted up right there, you fake the shot, you take them off the dribble, you break them down, or you just take it in rhythm.
Kerr going inside of Pippen. Scottie Pippen working against David Wesley, and here is Wennington missing from outside, tipped away, and it's last touched by the Hornets. Once again, David Wesley playing a much bigger player. In this case, it was Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we have so many mismatches, and the post-up people are taking one dribble and then passing the basketball. If you have a game with your back to the basket, you must punish these point guards when you have 6 to 8 inches on them.
Kukoc replaces Dennis Rodman in the Bulls lineup with 1:19 to go in the first half. Jordan gets a good screen from Kukoc, and Michael Jordan now with 6 points, or 8 points here in the second quarter, and the Bulls lead by 33-26. Winding down to a minute remaining in the first half, 12 on the shot clock. J.R. Reed on the screen and roll, picked up by Wennington. Del Curry with a couple of fakes, and Curry hits. Del Curry, one of the pure shooters, but only 1 for 7 in the first game of this series. So Charlotte's going to need better shooting from him. Final seconds. 15 on the shot clock. Jordan guarded by Anthony Mason. Pippen picked up by the smaller Wesley. Wennington going strong to the basket is fouled and will go to the line to shoot a pair. Coming up on the Nike halftime report, we'll have a preview of the big game 2 coming up between the Lakers and the Sonics from Seattle. Eddie Johnson joins Kenny Smith and Ernie Johnson in the studio. Eddie Johnson celebrating his 39th birthday, but in a losing cause last Friday as the Houston Rockets won out in 4 against the Utah Jazz. Here is Wennington on the free throw line and misses the first. Divac going to the bench has scored 7 tonight and has done a good job off the boards with 11. Bulls still have 1 foul to give with 31.7 on the clock.
When they talk about 2 of the best shooting teams in the league, they always talk Utah and Charlotte because they are both in the top 10 in 4 categories.
Right.
Points, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage. Tonight, this is incredible. They have 28 points, but also The dominant team, Chicago, is sitting on 34, and we have just seen missed open shots, guys not taking advantage of mismatches. We've just seen poor percentage basketball.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Anthony Mason.
Oh, yes.
I think he planned it that way. I'm going to dribble the ball down to 1 second and fire away.
Even Dave Collins is laughing because the half should end like this.
6.6 on the clock. The Bulls by 4. Michael Jordan working against Wesley, and the final shot hits at the buzzer. And the final exclamation part of the first half is done by who else? Michael Jordan, as he coolly runs off the floor. 14 points on 7-11 shooting, 10 of them here in the second quarter, and at the end of one, the Bulls leading 36-30. And the Nike halftime report coming up. The Chicago Bulls halfway toward making it 2-0 in the best of 7.
Just an opinion, probably not the prettiest game of the playoffs so far. 24 minutes down, 36-30, the Chicago lead over the Charlotte Hornets. Meantime, later tonight on TNT, Shaq has arrived, and it'll be the Lakers and the Sonics at Key Arena with Seattle on top. 1 game to none. We welcome you to our Atlanta studio. It's the Nike halftime report. Ernie Johnson joined once again tonight by Kenny Smith and by another pretty good shooter, 16-year NBA veteran, recently turned 39, as Dick Stockton pointed out, Eddie Johnson here. Eddie, nice to see you. You can talk about adjustments being made come playoff time between game 1 and game 2. What have you seen from the Charlotte side in this game?
Well, in a long series, you have to be able to make adjustments because of what the team did to you the first game. And a surprise tonight in Charlotte coming out and putting Mason on Michael Jordan, but it seemed to work early. Mason has a big body, tough for Jordan to drive around, and he had to settle for an off-balance shot, which is normally unbalanced for him. And here again, you see Jordan coming down, had a clear side, but basically settling for the jump shot. And in order for that to really work against Charlotte, he has to take the ball to the basket and try to create or get Anthony Mason in foul trouble, which would be beneficial for them on the defensive end.
Through it all, Michael averaging 36 during the playoffs, has 14 in the first half, hitting 7 out of 11. Kind of an out-of-sync kind of first half there, Ken.
I mean, out of sync is not the word. It's indescribable what kind of flow the game had. Neither team really kind of took command of the game. And the Charlotte Hornets are fortunate to be in this position, 30-36. I mean, throughout the game, you tried to figure out what they were going to do, and it never just happened. I mean, here, the Bulls are just settling for outside shots, not really getting anything. Dennis Rodman gets the rebound. He tips it up, but he can't get it to fall. It just really never happened for the Chicago Bulls or the Charlotte Hornets, for that matter. Here you have it. They're running the triangle offense. Kukoc come on. He doesn't know if he's going to give the bounce pass, shoot the shot. He's indecisive. So Burrell says, I'm going to go up strong. He misses the shot. He went up too strong. So these guys never had a good flow for the game, and no one ever really decided what the game is going to be like.
Chicago up by 6. Glenn Rice, by the way, only 2 points in the first half on 1 out of 8 shooting. He is now 10 out of 33 for the series against Chicago. Tomorrow night on TNT, it's game 2 in the Knicks-Pacers series. Now, could it be Patrick Ewing's first game since December 20th? Ewing went through his most physical practice since his wrist injury today at Market Square, fueling speculation that he will play in the series. The question when, and it's up to the doctors.
You know, when he's cleared to play, be it tomorrow or 2 weeks or 4 weeks or next year, you know, then he starts to play.
If he comes back, we'll test him. You know, one good slap on the wrist, we'll find out if he can play.
Yeah, that was Patrick's best buddy on the Dream Team, Larry Bird, talking there too. You're not going to cut anybody any slack at this time.
Oh, you got to go for it. If he's going to stick his hand in there and try to make a layup, you got to go for the foul.
Yeah, if I'm Rick Smits, the first thing I want to do, I don't want Patrick Ewing guarding me, first of all, because he's the best defender on him. First thing I'm going to do, slap him on the wrist to see what happens.
Oh, I think I'm day to day. When the Nike halftime report continues, we'll look ahead to our TNT nightcap. And more physical stuff going on here in the studio. Game 2 between the Lakers and the Sonics, and you don't have to be a crybaby or a woman to enjoy it. We'll be back.
And welcome back to Chicago, where at halftime of the second game of the Eastern Conference semifinal, with the Chicago Bulls leading the Charlotte Hornets by a score of 36-30. The Bulls leading 1-0. They have yet to lose a playoff game. That is a shocking halftime score. And it's amazing that these teams playing a half. Neither team has scored 20 points in a quarter yet in this game. Let's look at the halftime statistics as the Hornets shooting worse than they did when they were 36% in game 1. Bulls nothing to brag about, although Michael Jordan making it happen at 7-11 from the field. The rebounding story has been even with Divac and Rodman coming up big with 11 rebounds each. But this has been a strange game from the very beginning when the Chicago Bulls didn't get a basket until nearly 4 minutes were going by and Jordan got a hoop. And it's like it's kind of a weird Friday the 13th game we've got.
Dick, one team shooting 34, the other 36. We should have a ton of fast breaks. We have 5 points scored on fast breaks. The benches, though, have outscored what they did on Saturday. Chicago with 14, Charlotte with 11. Thank goodness for that. But we look at all of this and we just say, what about points in the paint? Now, Chicago should have a bundle because they continue to point guards on Kukoc and Rodman and Pippen. You would think they would be scoring a ton inside. They only have 10 points at halftime.
And how about an unusual game even for Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan has shot very well in the game. He is 6 for 8 from outside, but look at this, no free throw attempts after averaging 15 in the first 4 games.
Well, Michael, as you can see, is having an excellent half. The other 4 starters are 3 for 20. And then at the other end of the floor, we have Phils and Rice, 2 guys that are counted on the score. Between them are 2 for 15. And you can see the shooting. So this has just been a disaster for these 2 people. And it isn't like they are straining to get an open shot. They are getting looks at the basket.
Well, if you're a Charlotte fan, and you would say, well, your main man is 1 for 8 and only 2 points, and yet you're only down by 6 on the Bulls' home court, maybe you've got an opportunity.
Well, that's why we brought out that he is only shooting 36% from the floor and 25% in threes in the previous 5 games.
Luke Longley starts the second half at center for the Bulls. Scottie Pippen misses a 3, and the rebound by Mason. So checking the Charlotte lineup, it's Wesley and Phils in the backcourt, Mason, Divac, and Rice up front. Harper, Rodman, Jordan, Pippen, and, as we said, Longley starting in place of Kukoc.
And they're running a stagger screen for Rice.
Steal by Pippen. Great anticipation, almost a cross-court pass. Harper takes it to the basket, and Ron Harper gets his first points of the playoff. 2 points. He was shut out in game number 1 and did not score in the first half of this one.
Now Rice faded right to the corner, and Pippen just made a great steal of that pass.
Pippen is guarding Rice. They double, make him give it up. Now Mason had an opening for the moment, now working inside against Dennis Rodman, and the foul is called at the 24-second clock. So the Chicago foul will send Anthony Mason to the line.
Now you see, you're going to see Pippen, he's gambling right there. He went up over the top, and that was just a sweet move by Scottie. Now, the old story, stop the dribbler on the break and make the ball change direction. You cannot let a guy blow you off on a 3-on-1.
Dennis Rodman with his second personal foul. Anthony Mason, who was 4 for 8 from the line, misses his first free throw attempt tonight. Mason, who was acquired from the New York Knicks in the deal for Larry Johnson, who will be eligible to play and will play for sure in game 2 tomorrow night between the Pacers and the Knicks. It's interesting so far, Hubie, that after all of the hoopla surrounding Matt Geiger playing tonight, ready to play, we have yet to see Matt Geiger in the game.
Yeah, well, you know, Dave told us that he finally got him a scrimmage full court one day, half court another, so he has the confidence that he could play him.
Jordan misses from beyond the arc, and the rebound by Glenn Rice. A 7-point Bulls lead. A minute and a half has gone by here in the third quarter. And Wesley pushed by Ron Harper. There's Wesley, who played with the Boston Celtics last year. A revamped backcourt for the Charlotte Hornets with Bobby Phils, a free agent from the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Wesley, also a free agent who played with Boston.
Well, during the year, he averaged 13 points, 12 during the playoffs.
He missed the 3, but the follow-up by Glenn Rice, who gets his second basket of the night.
Well, maybe that will get him going. Get him off the schneid, get him feeling that he's part of the offense here.
5-point lead for the Bulls. There is Longley, and they call the travel. He could have been called for the offensive foul.
Yes. True or false? True.
Press the right button. Meanwhile, Glenn Rice gets fouled going in. So Rice, who has been cold from the outside, taking his game to the post, and Scottie Pippen with his first personal foul.
Well, Pippen loses contact, and you're going to see it here right to the left of your screen, right there. Anytime that you lose contact on an offensive player of Rice's quality, he's going right to the rim.
Glenn Rice, who is 6th in the NBA at scoring at over 22 a game, but only 17.5 against the Bulls in the regular season. His playoff numbers so far in the 4 games, 4 against the Atlanta Hawks, and the 1 game against Chicago, have been impressive. But against the Bulls, it's been another story.
Yeah, well, he's the 6th leading scorer in the league during the year. 3rd in three-point shooting, Dick, at 44%. One of the best ever.
They've cut the lead to 3. Longley, and it's tipped up and in by Luke Longley, who now has 9 points.
Now, Luke missed the initial shot and then had the presence to hit the floor and go right back up in traffic. He bulled his way into that tap.
The Bulls' biggest lead was 8. They had it cut to 3. Rice double-teamed on the catch. Now they go low to Divac. Longley has 3 personal fouls. And here is Phils missing a 3 from the corner. Bobby Phils really has had wide open shots that have not been able to connect.
And they've all been out on the perimeter, Dick.
Phils 1 for 8 from the field. Pippen hits a 3. Charlotte has yet to hit a 3, but Scottie Pippen hits 1, and he's got 9 points. And the Bulls have opened up a 43-35 lead. That matches their biggest lead of the game. Mason leaves it out for Rice, and Rice hits a 3. So Glenn Rice finally hitting from the perimeter, cuts the lead to 5.
That time, Scottie Pippen left Rice to go down in and double team. They're double teaming the post with the man who's defending the player at the top of the circle.
And Rice was 6th in the NBA in three-point percentage as well as 6th in scoring. So 3.5 minutes gone by here in the 3rd quarter, a 5-point lead. Jordan has Mason leave his feet, come down, tipped out, and there is Divac finding an open Anthony Mason, and Mason cuts the Bulls' lead to 3 on alert release by Mason.
Now, that was just a terrific look by Divac. Divac is having a strong game. He's doing it very quietly. He had 11 rebounds at halftime, and he had the 7 points. But, you know, the one thing about his game that you've always liked is the fact that he sees people and he can make the pass.
Here comes Michael Jordan. Good flip inside to Rodman, who lost the ball. Divac might have gotten a hand on it. In any event, the Hornets coming back, trailing by 3, making their best concerted run of this game here nearly midway through the 2nd quarter, or the 3rd quarter. Here is Mason. And the open man is Phils, and Phils makes a hard bounce pass that he loses Divac for the turnover.
Well, give Mason credit. He found Mills because Chicago rotated quickly to the top to take away the 3-point attempt. And then Phils, that was just a poor pass. If he makes a good pass, you had the layup.
Steve Kerr has replaced Ron Harper, who is going to the Bulls dressing room. Pippen. And Rodman keeps it alive with another offensive rebound. Steve Kerr off balance, banks it in. Steve Kerr with the basket, and for Dennis Rodman, that was his 6th offensive rebound of the game. The Bulls lead by 5, and Dave Cowens wants a timeout.
That was a pretty shot by Kerr. He banked that one in, and once again, Dennis Rodman, 6 offensive rebounds in this game. I'd like to show you the Glenn Rice 3. Now here we have Anthony Mason, and Pippen is going to come down and double team. The pass will go out right there to Rice. Harper will be late on this one. Now on the one that follows that, Phils right here opens up, and you wonder where he came from. Now just watch this. There's your double team back. Harper's late. They paid the price with a 3. Now on the next play, they came down, they did the same exact thing. Harper's rotation was there. Phils was open, but Phils committed a turnover.
Glenn Rice coming alive here in the 2nd half. Del Curry is checked in for the Charlotte Hornets. He was 1 for 1 shooting in the 1st half. A kick ball and a new clock for the Charlotte Hornets, who have scored 10 points in 2.5 minutes, UB, after getting only 30 in the first half, so they're getting more production.
Yeah, I like what they're doing. They're looking down the floor, and they're looking for the fast break, easy opportunities. This was a double right here for Rice.
Pippen trying to knock the ball away from Rice from behind. He's got Wesley, Curry, Divac, and Mason. Divac picked up by Pippen with 8 on the shot clock. Divac now faces the hoop, but can't bank it in. So good defense, and Scottie Pippen gets the credit for it. Kerr goes low now to Longley. A 5-point Bulls lead. Luke Longley with a left-handed hook shot. And Vlade Divac now with his 13th rebound of the game. So he has had double-figure rebounds in both games of this series.
Divac and Rodman both playing big.
Wesley
got away with a pull on Jordan.
Could have been called for the foul. Jordan to Longley, and a great reverse layup on a low pass to Luke Longley.
Who's that galloping ghost guy there? Look at him. The big fella's running and running hard.
Well, you mentioned coming off his best season, and Longley now a great body in the middle, and they're just trying to get his timing down because he'll be of value if the Bulls move on to series against the likes of Indiana and so forth. Here is Mason with a fall away, and the rebound by Rodman. Rodman has 13 rebounds, so does Vlade Divac. With a great spin move, a whirling dervish 360 by Scottie Pippen, and the Bulls on a 6-0 run now have their biggest lead of the game of 9.
Scottie is the main man with the basketball, the #1 assist player with the Chicago Bulls, and if you do not get him to pick up his dribble, he will always continue to push you.
So in a hurry, the Bulls have opened up their biggest lead. Here is David Wesley, and he hits the open jumper. Wesley now with 4 points in the game.
Well, he needed that. They need Wesley and Phils because Chicago's laying off both guys. They're doubling everything down inside, and they're saying, you two guys have got to beat us on the perimeter.
And they haven't done it in any of the 5 games this year between the teams. Longley with a strong move to the basket is fouled by Divac. That's only his first.
Yeah, Luke is definitely looking to score. Now keep an eye to the right. Michael, as he's double teamed, just drops this pass right off. Luke comes up under on the opposite side. Now this is Scottie doing his best. See, he's right in the middle of the floor. You're not trying to stop the dribble. You didn't level him off, and if you do that, Scottie's going to continue to penetrate.
Pippen and Glenn Rice share a jovial moment here in game number 2.
Well, we said during the playoffs, Scottie's giving you the 6 rebounds and the 6 assists. He's always in the middle of the break, and he makes excellent decisions.
Chicago outscoring Charlotte by 10 or now 11 off the bench. Luke Longley, Hubie, has 13 points in 13 minutes of action as we have under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The Bulls lead by 9. Trying to make it 2-0 at home in the best of 7. Divac tried to get the pass through, but it was last touched by the Bulls.
Yeah, that was Longley. Longley blocked that pass with his arm.
10 seconds on the shot clock for the Hornets. So Longley, who played only 14 minutes in game number 1, playing more tonight and producing a lot more. He was scoreless on Sunday.
Well, what happens now is Kukoc time is limited.
Mason fighting his way in, and Anthony Mason draws the foul. Dennis Rodman with a hard bounce, picking up his 3rd foul. He got a technical foul in game 1 for taunting.
Well, he got a technical foul earlier tonight also. Now you can see he got hit real strong right there by Rodman, right across the arm.
So he has had 2 technical fouls after, by and large, been under control in the latter part of the year and in the first round of the playoffs.
Now Mason has an odd foul shot attempt, and if you notice that as he gets it up to the height, and he'll pause, but he does make them. He shoots 65% during the year. Now for him, that's a major improvement over his career.
3 for 4 tonight, and it's 51-44. The Bulls by 7. We wind down to 4.5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Low-scoring first half with the Bulls leading by 6. Here is Pippen. Rodman trying to tap it in, but finally Divac gets the rebound. Here come the Hornets.
There's someone open here.
Divac and Rodman helping each other up at the other end as Anthony Mason on the layup. Mason now with 13 points. He is the leading scorer tonight for the Hornets and the only player in double figures for Charlotte. The lead is 5. for the Bulls. 4 minutes to go in the third. Pippen fouled. He had Rice and Curry on him. And the foul will be against Curry, his second.
Now here we have the two guys. Look at this. A little flop by Divac, and Rodman gave him a little pop, and they're playing with one another. And remember, we started the game within the first 2 minutes. Double technical foul.
And Vlade Divac, of course, has enough years under his belt not to get lured into anything foolish from Dennis Rodman. He's aware of that. Scottie Pippen now with 13 points. Pippen and Jordan each, or Longley each with 13, and Jordan has 14. Michael Jordan yet to score here in the third quarter, defending against B.J. Armstrong. Armstrong with a great quick move to the hoop, but they don't get the layup. And here comes Scottie Pippen in the open floor. Rice is on Kerr. Curry is on Pippen, who wants the ball inside. Longley to Jordan. Jordan misses. So Michael Jordan 0 for 3 here in the third quarter, still with 14 points. Bulls by 7.
Well, you have to pay attention to Del Curry, and Michael's right up on him.
He knows that Del Curry, a superb shooter and a great streak shooter. Now with 7 on the shot clock, here's Mason against Rodman. Curry will get an open shot. And Mason misses the tip-in. Here's Rice for 3, and he's got it. Blaine Rice now 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, and the Bulls lead now has been cut to 4 and a timeout.
During the course of the year, Rice attempts 4 threes a game, and he shoots 43%. So you know with Charlotte, this is high energy right now. This is a major boost if they can get this guy some open look behind the three-point line.
And Mason is getting the ball to the perimeter shooters who are clicking.
Well, the Bulls have a 4-point lead. I'm with Carl Pippen, obviously Scottie's brother and also business partner, with The Last Dance being copyrighted. Hard to imagine Scottie in any other uniform besides the Bulls, isn't it?
I didn't hear you there.
Isn't it kind of hard to imagine Scottie playing for somebody besides the Bulls?
Yeah, sort of, but actually I think it was a good deal with him, being here.
And what about The Last Dance? You guys copyrighted? You have shirts, hats?
Actually, for the time that he's been here, everything's been great for him, and I seem like this is going to be the last time. And actually, there's no better, concert that he come up with as The Last Dance.
We'll get one of those for Dick and Hubie, too.
Extra large and large. Thank you, Greg. Michael Jordan out of the game. Tony Kukoc replaces him. 6 on the shot clock, and Luke Longley leaves it for Kukoc. Kukoc beyond the line, misses. Did not get a good look there, and the rebound by Mason. Mason and Rice, UB have scored 19 in the last 21. The Hornets' points. They're down by only 4.
Well, Mason is dominating the ball now at the top of the circle, making things happen. You just wish that they continue this tempo. Keep pushing every time you got a transition, and then have Mason penetrate. Something good has been happening.
3 on the shot clock, and Rice over Pippen throws up an air ball. So Glenn Rice had Pippen in his face and threw up an ill-advised shot. So it goes over to the Chicago Bulls.
Right now, Anthony Mason is close to a technical with Joey Crawford. Mason is yelling and screaming about body contact, and he's yelling as he's going down the floor. Believe me, he's close.
Kukoc getting into Rodman. He's got Longley, Pippen, and Steve Kerr. Here is Longley from the outside, and Mason the rebound. Here comes B.J. Armstrong, who can push it up, pulls up for the jumper, and Pippen the rebound. 53-49. The Bulls lead the Hornets with a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. The Bulls led by 6 at the half and 4 after 1. Kukoc fouled and Armstrong on the reach-in, and that will be the 3rd team foul against the Hornets in the first in the last 2 minutes.
Now, once again, B.J. Armstrong on Kukoc. You've got to exploit that, and also Kukoc has got to take him strong to the rim.
What about the next game, Lakers and Sonics, Hubie?
Oh, well, it's going to be a great series. I think the Lakers definitely ran out of gas in that fourth quarter. Other people other than Shaq have got to step up with consistent numbers in that series. And it was nice to see Seattle answer the bell. And Gary Payton was, I just thought, just outstanding the other evening at both ends of the floor.
Well, Matt Geiger has finally come into the game. Matt Geiger, who has been out nearly 3 weeks with a pulled right hamstring after a full practice, has replaced Devons and is guarding Luke Longley. And Longley misses, but Rodman cleans up after him. With 1:09 to go, it is a 6-point Chicago lead.
Well, now with Dennis at that power forward position, you must pay attention, because when Longley makes his moves, you get a lot of big man double teaming, and then Dennis Rodman is open on the offensive board.
7 offensive rebounds, 14 in all for Dennis. And we mentioned Geiger in the lineup. He was a force during the regular season against the Bulls. Misses the layup there. He averaged over 9 a game. And now with 39 seconds to go, the Bulls by 6. Every time the Hornets come close, the Bulls go on a run and get a more than an arm's length lead. And Kukoc with a basket. Tony Kukoc only his second of the game. 2 for 8 shooting. He has had a very quiet series offensively thus far, but it does give the Bulls an 8-point lead.
Now we do have a 3 to 4 second difference in the shot clock.
Armstrong picked up by Rodman and doubled. J.R. Reed. And Donald Royal goes in, and an offensive foul is the call against Donald Royal.
That time Dennis took that charge, and he took it high out over the dotted line. The referees had this one, no question. There it is. Dennis takes that one in the chest. You have that dotted box that they call it. If you're standing outside that, it's automatic charge.
Scott Burrell and Scottie Pippen and Judd Bushler have all come in here now for the final 4.4 seconds. All have 3-point abilities. Burrell has hit one earlier in the game. Bushler has done it for several years. And, of course, Scottie Pippen. We know what he can do. Here is Pippen. And Pippen throws the ball away. And Del Curry's final shot misses. Well, the Hornets, who came within 4 on Rice's three-pointer, were scoreless in the last 2 minutes and 53 seconds. And speaking of scoreless, Michael Jordan came up empty in the third quarter, and Glenn Rice started to heat up. But after 3, the Bulls lead the Hornets by a score of 57 to 49. And welcome back to the United Center in Chicago as we start the fourth quarter in game 2, with the Bulls leading the Hornets by a score of 57 to 49, as the Bulls outscoring the Hornets by 2 in the third quarter after Charlotte came within 4 points.
And it was nice to see a team finally score 20 in a quarter.
Yeah. Michael Jordan will start the fourth quarter on the bench. He has scored 14 in the game, nothing in the third quarter, and a whistle.
Now, they tried to substitute Wennington for Rodman.
They wouldn't allow it.
That's right, because he was not at the scorer's table.
D.J. Armstrong with Del Curry, J.R. Reed, Donald Royal, and Matt Geiger in there for the Hornets. And Del Curry with his second basket of the game, 57-51. The Bulls have Ron Harper back in action. He has Steve Kerr in the backcourt with Kukoc, Rodman, and Scott Burrell up front.
Now, this is basic second unit here.
Kukoc still struggling, and Donald Royal hustles for the rebound. Earlier I said when Geiger came in and he hadn't played in nearly 3 weeks, he did see brief action against the Atlanta Hawks in the previous series, so I misspoke regarding Matt Geiger's activities. Reed firing from outside, and Burrell the rebound. Charlotte Hornets trying to avoid going 2 down, but they have the next 2 games at home beginning Friday at the Charlotte Coliseum. We'll have that game for you on TNT. Kerr now picked up by Reed on the switch. Steve Kerr hits. Steve Kerr with 7 in the game on 3 for 3 from the field.
If you're going to switch and the clock is down, you have to close the gap and jam the shooter, especially a shooter with the reputation of Steve Kerr.
Remember, Kerr played only 1 game against the Hornets. They didn't get to see much of him, but they know his reputation. Here is Donald Royal again. Royal has given the Hornets some important minutes tonight on both ends, and he hasn't missed in 3 shots. 7 points tonight.
Well, he's a high-energy guy, and you like the fact that he can do a little bit of everything. He's a good defender. He's quick, takes it off the dribble, helps you on the glass.
Royal guarding Burrell, trying to beat him off the dribble, and does.
Oh, what a shot.
Looking for the foul as well, and doesn't get it. Scott Burrell, though.
Well, he was blasted there. He was really blasted.
And he is still upset about it. Lead is 8 for the Bulls as the scoring picking up here early in the 4th quarter. Reed working against Kukoc.
Pretty.
J.R. Reed. So the tempo has really moved up considerably.
Well, you like that. J.R. Reed has some nice moves with his back to the basket. And that was a pretty spin drop step move.
Reed playing last year in France. And originally a #1 draft pick by the Hornets. A foul pushing against B.J. Armstrong. That'll be his 3rd. 2.5 gone by. The lead is 6. And now it's time for Dutch Boy in the paint. And a feverish contest off the boards tonight. Each team with 9 offensive rebounds. 7 by Dennis Rodman. It's very tough off the boards. Longley, well, very impressive in his 2nd game back with 13 points and 2 rebounds. Divac has done yeoman job inside. But how about Dennis Rodman tonight with 15 rebounds, Hubie, 7 off the offensive glass.
You know, there's an interesting stat on Dennis in the playoffs. He's averaging 8 shot attempts per game, already tonight at 7. Now, this is with a guy who only attempted 4 a game during the course of the season. He was just satisfied with rebounding. But he has made a lot of things happen here this evening. Like always, he's in there sacrificing his body. And we all know that one of the toughest things in basketball, especially at the pro level, is the offensive rebounding, because you take body punishment to get the stat.
Michael Jordan is back in the game for the Bulls. The Bulls increased their lead by 1 with Michael resting. Jordan has yet to score in the 2nd half, had 14 points in the 1st half, and a foul called against J.R. Reed. That'll be his 2nd and 2nd team foul against the Hornets.
Well, the big thing you're trying not to do right now is you do not want to get into the penalty in a hurry here, especially on the road.
Kukoc finding Pippen. And Anthony Mason is guarding Michael Jordan. Reed is on Pippen. And Burrell, long range. Armstrong knocks it out of bounds. And they say it's Charlotte's ball. Kukoc claiming that Armstrong tapped it out of bounds. He may have a point. Armstrong bringing the ball up. Curry and Armstrong at guard with Reed, Geiger, and Mason up front. Glenn Rice on the bench right now. Rice with 12 points, 10 coming in the 3rd quarter.
They've got to do something for Del Curry. You can't have a shooter of this quality out there and not run anything for him.
Armstrong's miss, giving the Bulls an opportunity. And Kukoc still struggling, but Jordan taps it away from Curry. Made it look easy over the top. And Burrell travels. And another Bull turnover goes over to Chicago. 9 turnovers by the Bulls tonight. The Hornets, who turned it over 19 times in game #1, have 10.
You have to understand who you have out on the floor and where the guy wants the basketball.
That's something the Bulls always know. And there Pippen fouls Mason inside. For Scotty, it'll be his 2nd foul. For the Hornets, Glenn Rice and Vlade Divac come in. And Rodman will check back in for Chicago.
Now they catch Pippen fronting. Now what they do is they shoot a guy up to the foul line, and Mason just keeps Pippen on his back. That's a beautiful move. Empty out the opposite side, send him up to the foul line, hit him with a pass, and then just drop it down.
Mason now 4 of 5 from the line after going 4 of 8 in game #1. So Divac back in along with Rice for the Hornets. Rodman for the Bulls. And it's a 61-57 game. So once again, the Hornets within range, down by 4.
Well, they played in this building 3 times this year. and they've lost by 31, 13, and 13. This one, they're really in here right now, and they've got a good opportunity.
Dave Cowens pointing out that last year the Hornets played 2 tough games against the Bulls here, even though they lost them. Here is Curry bringing it up. Veteran Del Curry in his 12th year from Virginia Tech. Mason against Jordan now. First time Jordan's got it. Another careless cross-court pass.
Yeah, you had numbers right at the top of the circle.
Michael Jordan, and Rodman with the offensive rebound out of bounds, and it's last touched by the Bulls, and again Mason all over the official.
Yeah, he's close. And, I just don't know how much they're going to take from him. Now, as this comes off, that might have been off Rodman.
Tipped away, and a steal by Del Curry.
There goes strong.
Del Curry fouled by Steve Kerr. They both go headlong into the press table. But Curry will go to the line. Very alert hands by Curry.
Well, Curry on this move, you're going to see it right here. There's your steal. Excellent anticipation. I just don't think that he feels that Kerr can catch him. See, he's looking up the opposite way. Now, Kerr, always go for the ball, and if you catch the player across the arm, the forearm, that way you're not going to hurt him. The big thing is he's not going to get the shot off.
And a chance now for Del Curry to bring the Hornets to within 2 points. Luke Longley, who has been an unquestioned asset for the Chicago Bulls tonight, with 13 points off the bench, will replace Steve Kerr. So the Bulls get big here with 7:25 on the clock.
Yeah, they're going to play Pippen and Jordan in the backcourt. And then you have Longley, Kukoc, and Dennis Rodman up front.
And it's a 2-point game on a 6-0 run. This is the closest the Hornets have come for Dave Cowens this half. 61-59.
Now this is interesting going with the size right now.
Jordan, who 0 for 3 shooting here in this second half. Scottie Pippen. This is Kukoc with the offensive rebound, and he converts. Kukoc with only 6 points, and the Bulls lead by 4. Kukoc is guarding Curry. Divac now is free. Curry gets a screen from Divac and hits a 3. So that is the third 3-point basket of the game by the Hornets. Rice had the previous 2, and the Bulls lead is down to 1.
Yeah, Curry just came off that screen shooting. Pippen is chasing Rice all over here.
Pippen guarded by Rice and Divac, and Longley with another chance. Out of bounds, Charlotte gets the ball back, and a chance to take the lead. The Charlotte Hornets' last lead was 8-6, and they have an opportunity here to regain the lead from the early moments.
Now this is just a great catch and stop by Del Curry. You know, during the course of his years in this league, he has just drained the 3. He's made over 929.
It's a lot of threes.
The Bulls lead by 1. I'm with Tim Hardaway. The last time we saw you was Sunday in Miami. Devastated said you're going chilling. What are you doing here?
Chilling. You know, I'm from Chicago, and I come down here and take care of some business. I got the all-time free time now. Just come down here and take care of some business a little bit.
What about this game? You surprised Michael hasn't scored in the fourth? Hasn't even scored in the second half.
It's a low-scoring game, but, you know Mike gonna start going off, but I don't care. You know, I'm just here watching the good game. My agent told me to come on now, get my mind off the series against New York, and that's what I'm doing.
All right, thanks. Let's go back to Dick.
Anything to forget that series against New York. The Hornets with Del Curry hitting a 2-point basket, and the Charlotte Hornets have taken their first lead since early in the first quarter. Actually, not so early at 8-6. That was a low-scoring first quarter. But Curry has 9 here in the fourth. Big spark for the Charlotte Hornets. And Scottie Pippen now with under 6 minutes to go, 7 on the shot clock. And Pippen did not have control when he put the shot up. And B.J. Armstrong pushing it unguarded by Kerr.
Well, Curry is on fire right now, and everything is kept shot.
And now B.J. Armstrong, the former Chicago Bull, hits a basket to give the Hornets a 3-point lead. And that is their biggest lead of the game. Charlotte on an 11-2 run here in the fourth quarter, sending this crowd into silence. Michael Jordan over Mason. And the rebound by Divac. And here's Armstrong trying to push it up again. Runs into a pick by Longley. And Armstrong hits. And now the Hornets can't miss as Phil Jackson wants a timeout.
Dick, the transition has been there all night long. And you know that the shots were there. All they have to do is continue to push. As the game is going on, Chicago is slow getting back. And also the mismatch. You see, everyone's getting caught back in the backcourt, you know, for whatever the reason might be. And you just like the fact that you have BJ and Curry looking for the early shot.
The lead is 5. A stunner right now. The Hornets lead the Bulls by 5 with 5:08 to go. Coming up next, it'll be the Lakers against the Sonics. Lakers will be shorthanded. Kobe Bryant has the flu and will not play in Game 2 against the Sonics, with Seattle owning the 1-0 lead. Scottie Pippen bringing the ball up. It's been a 15-2 run, and the bench for the Hornets have scored all 15 points. Michael Jordan gets the basket and the foul.
Now, this will be Michael's first foul shot attempt of the game. He has stayed out on the perimeter. Mason has played him 90% of the time. Now, this is one of the very few times this evening that we have seen Michael take it off the dribble, take it to the rim. We are not seeing him down in the post-up area on a triangle because of the Mason matchup. So he has stayed perimeter.
And he has missed his first free throw of the game. He's gone on the line an average of 15 times, only 1 tonight, and shooting only 1 of 5 in the second half. So the lead is 3 for the Hornets with 4:40 to go. Curry with a turnaround. Del Curry, who has 13 points in the game, 11 here in the fourth quarter. The Hornets lead by 5. Trying to even the series at 1 apiece, and an offensive foul called against the Bulls. And Scottie Pippen picks up his third.
Now, that all happened down on the left side of the lane in the post-up area. Pippen was trying to set a screen and then post up.
Luke Longley will come in for Tony Kukoc. Kukoc leads with 6 points. Longley has been a bigger offensive threat by far tonight.
Well, the big thing right here is Del Curry is making things happen against Steve Curry, shooting up over the top of him.
Anthony Mason working his way inside, and Divac misses from the corner. And the rebound by Rodman into the hands now of Michael Jordan. Jordan has 16 in the game, and now 18. And you know that Michael Jordan is not, if he can help it, let the Bulls lose this one.
The main thing is that he's going to the basket. These are the first 2 times that we've seen him do this all night long. He's been contented staying on the perimeter.
3-point game now. Mason working inside on the baseline and throws it away.
Yeah, he got caught behind the board, and once he got caught behind the board, they took away all of the passing lanes. Now, this is Michael. Now, watch this spin move that Michael comes out. Once he spins out of there on Divac, that's a mismatch.
Jordan scoring at least 32 points in every playoff game thus far. Has 18 right now. 3.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The Hornets lead by 3. Pippen looking for the open jumper. And Longley and Divac. And Divac, with his 17th rebound, has played a great game off the glass. B.J. Armstrong has it roll off, but he's fouled, and Armstrong will shoot 2. That is only the 3rd team foul here against the Bulls.
Yeah, you're just hoping there. The B.J. would have taken one more dribble. He had a nice layup. You see the extension pretty long. He tried to bring it back to his right hand. If he had one more dribble, he could have laid it up with the left.
Pippen with his 4th personal foul, and Armstrong to the line for the first time tonight. 3:18 remaining in the fourth quarter. Saturday night at 7 on TNT, David Carradine stars in Kung Fu. The legend continues. And Sunday morning, starting at 10, watch all day in the heat of the night marathon. Not to interrupt you, UB, as we give very important promos coming up Sunday on TNT.
I got carried away with the Kung Fu.
Yes, you did. You did. It is now a 5-point Charlotte lead.
B.J. Armstrong and Curry playing big here. And also Mason is setting up a ton of screens for people.
Jordan is guarded by Del Curry, and Jordan is going to pull up this time and hit. Michael Jordan, they get into one of his familiar fourth quarter zones. He has 20 points, and the Hornets by 3 with under 3 minutes to go. Jordan looking to steal the ball from his former teammate, Armstrong. Here is Glenn Rice, and here is Divac, and over the top, it's last touched by the Bulls as Pippen tried to block the shot by Divac from behind.
Yeah, there was plenty of contact down there. That could have been called a foul. You only have 5 seconds here now.
And a full timeout will be called by the Charlotte Hornets. They still have 3 timeouts and a 20. The Bulls have 2 and a 20. And we'll be right back to the United Center. Hornets leading 72-69. Calling the timeout. Michael Jordan. Not scoring 17:04, but 6 in the last 2 minutes and 13 seconds. In fact, he's the only member of the Bulls to score in the last 5 minutes. And the question is, all of a sudden he woke up and trying to bring his team back as he's done so often.
There it is.
There it is.
Curry's
Del Curry with the basket, and it's 74-69.
Now, we just had a confrontation right here with Rodman and Mason. Now, the shot went up from the right side. All of this happened down in the lane to the left of the basket.
And a foul is called. Mason and Rodman, double foul.
Curry's on fire right now, and you have to pay attention to him because he is one of the quickest that we have on catch and shoot in the league, and range is not a factor.
Michael Jordan is fouled, and will go to the line. No basket with 2:26 showing. Jordan deciding to go strong to the hoop. Missed his 1 free throw thus far.
Now, coming into this game, in the 4 playoff games, 15 attempts a night, shooting at 80%. And it's going to be interesting right now to see if Chicago can catch Charlotte. Can Charlotte maintain this lead under the pressure and also the physical contact that's going to happen between now and this final horn?
These are the numbers that Michael Jordan has posted in the first 4 games of the playoffs, including 35 in game 1 against these Hornets. But Jordan now with 21, looking for his 22nd point, and he's got it to bring the Bulls to within 3.
The big issue would be, if the Bulls do not come back and win this, is did he wait too long before he attacked the basket? I think that's something which Charlotte would be happy with, because they'll say, by just putting Mason on him, it kept him perimeter.
Here is B.J. Armstrong with a jumper, and the rebound by Pippen. And here come the Bulls in the hands of Jordan as we get to the 2-minute mark. 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. The Hornets lead 74-71. And here's Jordan for 3, and it's tipped away and into the hands of Curry. So the Hornets keep the lead by 3 with under 2 minutes to go. The bench has been the hero for Charlotte tonight. 23 points here in the fourth quarter alone.
They're going to try to force a double team here.
And Mason, this has been a familiar set for the Hornets tonight. Mason,
there it is.
Rodman, misses the layup. He had the easy layup and missed it.
Send it down with 2 hands.
Minute and a half to go, and the lead is 3. Divac with a great opportunity to give the Hornets a lead of 5.
They just double team Michael to get him to give the ball up.
8 on the shot clock. Michael Jordan to Randy Brown, and Pippen. And Pippen misses, and this was not the sequence the Bulls wanted offensively that time, Hubie.
Now, you've got to give Mason a lot of credit. That was a spectacular pass. When he was double-teamed, big man, he found Divac. Divac just sent down a soft shot.
1:09 to go. The Hornets lead the Bulls by 3.
Now, as Mason makes a power move here, watch him drop step, and as he comes back out, he lifts his pivot foot, and he passes, and that's a bad shot by Divac. Now, keep an eye on this Divac and Rodman. See, their legs right there are tangled, and you can see Rodman is not allowing Divac to get up. Both guys have done a yeoman's job tonight on the boards.
There's the story. The Charlotte 2 timeouts and a 20. The Bulls the same, and the Bulls have 1 foul to give. Glenn Rice has not taken a shot here in the 4th quarter. And Anthony Mason, and a foul called against the Bulls, so that is their first foul in the last 2 minutes, and the personal is against Jordan, his second.
Now, if you're going to foul, that was a good foul, because that was definitely, you see right there, B.J. Armstrong could have possibly have backdoored Michael right down the lane. Now you take this one out on the side. Both teams are shooting the penalty on the next foul.
Mason will inbound. It's Mason, Armstrong, Divac, Rice, and Curry. The Bulls with Kerr, Pippen, Longley, Jordan, and Rodman, who's guarding the inbounds passer.
Now you have to be ready for body contact now if you're Charlotte. You know that you're on the road and you're going to get bumped.
Jordan is doing the bumping on B.J. Armstrong, looking for the steal, trying to keep him outside with 12 on the shot clock. And Armstrong throws it off of Jordan, but Pippen couldn't get the ball. And so 8 seconds on the shot clock, 42.8 on the game clock here in the 4th. Hornets by 3.
Now they have to decide here. Now, okay, B.J. Armstrong is going to take the ball out of bounds. Now you have plenty of time.
Here is Mason, again in the low post. Mason working inside, throws behind. 2 on the shot clock. Glenn Rice off, and Divac gets the offensive rebound and a new clock for the Hornets with under a half a minute to go now.
Now remember, if Chicago fouls, they're in the penalty.
Big offensive rebound for Vlade Divac. The lead is 3. Armstrong will put up the jumper, and B.J. Armstrong, 76-71. The lead is 5 with 17.8 seconds to go. And a look at the Charlotte bench and their coaching staff, and they're seconds away from pulling a stunning upset.
By keeping his dribble, if you notice, Longley just stepped back, and you cannot do that when a guy is having a great half. B.J. Armstrong and Curry on fire.
We'll be right back. The last 3 years in the playoffs, the Chicago Bulls have lost only 1 game, and that was game 2 to the Atlanta Hawks last year. They won in 5, 23-1.
Main thing right now is that you go for the quick score. And if they give you a wide open 3, fine. But the big thing is, if you get the quick score, put the full court press on, do not assume that they're going to call timeout.
Jordan working against Mason, going inside. Longley gets the lane with 11.4.
Now you got to defend them. Don't see, they're not calling timeout. You got to foul.
76-73, and finally Longley fouls Glenn Rice. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2 with 7.8 on the clock.
See, as soon as you score a quick field goal, you put on the full court press, you go for the steal. If the steal is not there, then you foul quickly.
Lakers Sonics game 2 coming up next on TNT. Kobe Bryant out with the flu, will not suit up for the Lakers. Glenn Rice 2 for 2 from the free throw line, makes the first one. Hubie, how about B.J. Armstrong and Del Curry and what the backcourt bench people have done for the Hornets tonight?
Well, you have to look at it in this 4th quarter and say Curry and B.J. Armstrong, 21 points off the bench.
And Glenn Rice did not take a shot from the field, although Charlotte is 7 of 7 from the line. They've made their free throws, and a timeout is called by the Chicago Bulls. Time is running out for the Bulls, down by 5. The Charlotte Hornets are on the brink of scoring a major upset here over the Bulls. Bulls out of timeouts. They do have a 20. They're out of full timeouts. Now they need 5 points and 7.8, Hubie.
The main thing is you still got to get that quick 2. Put your full court press on. Do not assume that they're going to call timeout. If you don't get the steal, you foul.
Jordan for 3 off the rim. Batted out to Michael. Time is running out. And Tony Kukoc is going to hit the 3, but it's too late. And the Charlotte Hornets have evened the series in a stunning upset over the Chicago Bulls. And Michael Jordan, who was quiet in the 3rd quarter, came alive, and the question that Hubie raised might it have been too late. Has to be a question that will be asked as the Charlotte Hornets defeat the Chicago Bulls. Final score 78-73, and Del Curry with 15 points in the game. B.J. Armstrong had 10, Mason 15, and Rice 14. Jordan ended up with 22 points, the high scorer for the Chicago Bulls. Amazing that Glenn Rice not a factor as the Hornets win by 2 to even the series 1 apiece. Let's go out to Craig Sager.
Well, so many games have been decided in this building with the backcourt of the Chicago Bulls. Then Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen combining for that dynamic duo. But here was Del Curry, B.J. Armstrong. What happened in that fourth quarter when you two scored 17 consecutive points for your team?
Well, we've been just waiting for a chance to play together all year. I mean, B.J.'s great at running the club and setting up other guys and getting his too. But we just moved the ball, came in here believing that we could win, and we did it.
How surprised were you when they cut the lead, but yet you guys still kept going? You guys kept burying the shot.
Well, we're in this position before, and we just wanted to give ourselves another opportunity to get back into that position. And we felt all along that we could do a better job of executing in the second half, being precise, and then we hit some of those shots. Dale came in, gave us a tremendous spark. It was just one game. Now we're looking forward to going back to Charlotte and continuing the process that we started here tonight.
A former teammate, a close friend of Michael Jordan. Were you surprised that he did not drive to the basket until the fourth quarter when it perhaps was too late?
Well, I really wasn't sure. They didn't seem to get in sync offensively, and they're going to make adjustments. They're going to get Michael in positions where he can score, get to the basket in this third game. So tonight we kind of confused him with Mason, the things we were doing defensively. But next game, Friday night, is going to be a different story.
You guys were a bit, I don't know, humiliated or embarrassed by the writings in the papers, people talking about 15-0, not giving you guys any respect. Was that a factor?
Well, we all heard that. You know, we read the papers too, and we have great pride on this team. It's good that nobody gives us a chance. Just us 12 guys and our coaches is all we need in the locker room. We realize that we have a chance, and we just come out and play hard.
All right, thanks a lot. Let's go back to Dick and Hubie.
And what a great game by the savvy veteran Del Curry and B.J. Armstrong, who won 3 titles with the Chicago Bulls. So this series is all tied 1-1 with Game 3 Friday in Charlotte, and it is a shocker. And around here, Hubie, everyone seemed to think that it was going to be easy. We said at the top, people were talking about a 15-0 playoff run, which is absurd. But now all of a sudden, similar to a year ago when Atlanta won Game 2.
Well, that's why we brought up the point, the bench. In Game 1, the bench only scored 8 points for Charlotte. Tonight, they were all over the place with the points, and then Divac stepped up tonight and gave them the big rebounding factor. Now, we said at the top, 2 guys had to step up, Mason and Rice. Rice still struggled, but Mason had a prime-time game tonight with the passing, the points, and the rebounds.
And Divac from the rebounding was terrific, and the bench did the number for the Charlotte Hornets tonight. A stunning upset at the United Center. That's the story here right now. Let's send you back to Atlanta and Ernie Johnson.